what's up? So today we're going to be talking about Whole30. Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season and a wonderful New Year's. A lot of people are in the New Year, New You phase, which I don't normally get into that phase. I think that you should set goals for yourself and try and achieve them at any point in the year. However, I am doing Whole30 during the month of January, and I wanted to kind of share my experiences with it so far. So I do want to do this video in 3 parts. The first one talking about days 1 through 10, the second part talking about days 11 through 20, and then the last one talking about the last 30 days. So this is the first video, and this one is also going to include what Whole30 is and tips for getting started. So let's start out with what it is. Whole30 is a 30-day elimination diet where you basically eliminate all of the things that people tend to have intolerances to, or things that tend to work negatively in your body rather than positively. So for 30 days, you cut out 4 major food groups: sugar, grains, dairy, and legumes. So for sugar, you need to cut out any added sugar. So fruit is fine, but regardless of whether it's natural or not natural, you need to cut it out. So you can't add honey to your coffee, honey to your tea. I guess you can put honey in your coffee. I never thought about it. And you also can't use stevia or Splenda or any of the fake sugars. This one's really tricky because a lot of products actually have hidden sugar in them. So when you think you're just buying a can of chicken broth or something, you'll notice that there's sugar in it. And also sugar comes in lots of different names to try and trick you. Actually, I don't know if that's why they come in different names, but that's how I feel. I feel tricked. So things like dextrose and I can't think of any other off the top of my head, but make sure you do your research ahead of time to make sure you know what sugar's aliases are. So the second group is grains, and grains is obviously bread and anything made with flour or wheat. However, it also includes things like quinoa and oatmeal. So the third category is dairy, and dairy is pretty obvious. It's cheese, it's milk, it's cheese, milk, I don't know. Any heavy creams, whipped cream, creamer, things like that. And the last one is legumes. So legumes are basically beans or peanuts or anything in those categories. My dog is barking and it's so annoying. So the things that they want you to eat are meats, including bacon, vegetables, fruits, and healthy fats. So there's a few other little rules, like don't try to replicate things that you already eat. So you don't want to make ice cream out of bananas or things like that. But if you want all of the information, you can go ahead and check out the Whole30 book, and that'll give you kind of an overview of everything in this diet. So now I want to talk about tips for getting started. I think the most important thing is to pre-plan. So I would say give yourself at least 2 weeks, but I would say give yourself a month to prepare yourself for what you're about to do. You want to read the book, watch a lot of videos, look up shopping guides, start making a Pinterest board. I think that was one of the most important things that I did, was for about a month before. Actually, it was longer than a month because I wanted to do this in November, but my family talked me out of it because they were like, you're gonna have a dairy-free, sugar-free Thanksgiving, and so I said I would wait till January. Anyways, so start a Pinterest board. I think that's one of the most important things they did, because Pinterest is amazing and has a lot of options, and that way you kind of have everything ready to go. So my next tip is try to find a partner or a friend who will do it with you, and that always makes dieting easier as somebody who is supportive of you. My brother-in-law and my sister-in-law and their friends are also doing Whole30 this month, so we actually started So we started a Facebook group where we were able to go on and share our recipes and what we were eating and our struggles and be like, I want cake. And that's been really, really helpful. And my last tip is to get prepared. So before you start, you're gonna want to make a list of all the things that you want to make for the week, and just kind of plan your meals out so it's a lot easier for you. One thing that I did that was really helpful is every week I'm making a huge batch of soup or a chili or something like that. That will last us throughout the week. So if you ever have a moment where you're like, oh no, I didn't make a lunch, or oh no, I don't have stuff for dinner, or I'm too lazy to make it, and instead of cheating or resorting to something that's on the less healthy end of Whole30, then you can just have your ready to go soup. So on the day that I'm filming this, I'm actually on day 12. And I wanted to talk about the first 10 days. So the first day is pretty easy. You're kind of like excited, everything's new. You kind of just went grocery shopping and bought all this stuff, and you have a lot of options, and you feel like really pumped. And the second day, I have to say, I was exhausted. And from like the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed at like 8 o'clock that night, I was so drained. I felt like I didn't have any energy in me. And I think that just has to do with not having any carbs or sugar, and my body's just used to automatically going to those things to create energy, so I didn't have a lot of energy. And then the third day was very similar. I also didn't have a lot of energy. I felt really tired, went to bed early again that night. And even though I had slept from 8 o'clock to 6:30 in the morning the night before, I was still exhausted. But I do have to say, by day 4, things got a little bit more normal, and every day after that, my energy levels became more and more consistent and better. I'm still not at a point where I'm like, I have so much energy, I'm ready to do all the things, but supposedly that's supposed to happen tomorrow on day 13, so I'll let you know in the next video if that's something that I experience. Other than that, it's actually been pretty easy. I do have little cravings here and there. The majority of my cravings are for Starbucks, because I don't just get like black coffee at Starbucks. I get like the freaking sugariest thing ever. So I guess my cravings are for sugar, but I don't crave like cake or ice cream or pancakes or things that are like that kind of sugar. I'm just craving the Starbucks sugar, and I think it's the mixture of the Starbucks and the sugar and the caffeine in it together. Other than that, I have moments where I think about bread, and I have moments where I think about cheese, but it's been a really smooth transition. I do miss alcohol, and I miss bread and cheese, and I miss sugar, but I'm not struggling too much. So yeah, it was a rough couple days in the beginning, and then it just got a lot easier. So if you're in the part of Whole30 where you're struggling and you're not really sure if you can do it, and you're kind of towards the beginning, just keep pressing through and know that it gets a lot easier. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I hope that this really helped you. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below, and I'll try and answer them in my next Whole30 video. And I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and if you're about to embark on this Whole30 journey, welcome, and good luck. Alright, bye.